What is up, guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Starion build. As you can see, we do have a bunch of these spaghetti wire junk running everywhere right now because we are starting to wire it up finally. What's wrong? You sweating?
No, just my eyes.
Don't cry, dude. I know it's tough. I know it's real tedious when it comes to wiring. I know a lot of people hate this part of the job. You do?
Yes.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it so much.
You did well.
Yeah.
I don't mind the untucking.
Just
figuring it out. Yeah.
right. Now the harness, this harness, this particular harness that we went with was, I mean, obviously there's multiple routes you can choose. Let's say you're installing this engine in, same configuration, maybe into a different body or into the same body. You can go with the more expensive route, which would be having purchased an already made custom harness. But that custom harness will run you about maybe $650 on the higher end, and then maybe about $400 on the lower end. But the thing is, those harnesses are still meant for a front wheel drive configuration. So you still would need to extend wires because obviously the throttle body is now on this side when originally it should be pointing that way.
Yep. And there it is.
Yeah, and there they are right there. So those are our throttle position sensors, evap sensor, and whatnots right there, idle air control. So that would be the more expensive route. The more slightly cheaper route would be getting a harness maybe out of a junkyard or just a used RSX harness. Getting a manual one in the junkyard, at least around our area, is very difficult to find because that's usually the first thing to go when it gets to the wrecker or the pick apart or whatever.
Or some jerk cuts it.
Yes, that's probably more common because they don't want to unplug anything, so they just chew at the wires like a little rat, and then it's useless after that. Our particular one is... Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. One more thing. The manual harness can also be purchased on eBay or maybe OfferUp, but they will run you anywhere from about $100 to maybe $200, depending on how much of a jerk that guy is that wants to sell it to you. So ours is actually originally from an automatic RSX. So, and those are, I don't want to say a dime a dozen, but maybe a dime for maybe a six-pack. Not a dozen, maybe a dime for a six-pack, at least around our area in the automatic form. Now, the automatic harness is a lot, well, I don't want to say a lot, but it is different than the manual harness. I would probably recommend somebody who's not really familiar with wiring or really hates it and wants to try to tackle it themselves to actually get a manual harness instead of what we had to do, because I had to go through the wires and actually eliminate all this mess right here. You can see, and a lot of people will see this and be like, oh, no way, I'm not touching that. But it's actually, it's not as, yeah, it's pretty bad. So,
Dang.
but yeah, so those are pretty much for all the automatic transmission controls and like neutral safety switch, that big plug right there. So obviously we're not going to be using that. And then I had a cross-reference, obviously, with a manual transmission harness. So just after drawing everything back and, pulling all the wires out that I don't need, then I just pretty much wind up with this. And like I said, a manual one will probably do you a lot better. And then just
faster, huh?
a lot faster. Because then all we had to do was just nip and extend. Just cut the little ends off or whatever, and maybe not even pull them back. Just leave them there. But we want to go the extra distance, and we want to make it look very, very presentable. So we're deciding to actually attempt a wire tuck harness, and I'm looking at Jericho's face, and he's having second thoughts. But I mean, even if it's not one of the professional grade like Rye Wire or K-Tune style harness, at least it's going to look very nice and very hidden, and that's pretty much what we're shooting for here.
It's going to be my wire.
It's going to be your wire, a Jerier tuck.
Jerk wire.
So if you're following along with this, I mean, we'll try to be as descriptive as possible. I mean, as far as how we are going to wire it into our Starion. Another key element into doing something like this, like even if, once again, if this engine is going to something different, I would recommend purchasing a hybrid racing universal harness adapter. Get it right here. And this is going to save you a lot more heartache and pretty much not having to worry about what wires are in the Starion, what wire should I attach to the Starion, because all you have to do is plug this guy into the main harness right here, the power supply harness, and pretty much just follow the directions, and all you're pretty much doing is putting it to ground, key power, and a starting signal. And that's pretty much it. And this one actually came with a fuel pump relay if you wanted to use their fuel pump relay, but we already have our larger fuel pump relay in the back, so we won't be using that. And also it comes with the OBD2 port, so which is cool too. So now we're OBD2 and scan, and able to scan for any problems that we might have. So all right, there we are. So we're just trying to figure out where we're going to enter into the cabin with all the bunch of wires right here, and where we're going to mount our Honda, that's where we're at. So we'll be right back with you. You love it? All right, guys. We found our point of entry that we are going to run our harness through. An easy way you can do it, I guess, if you really wanted to, is just run across and then possibly go through that grommet, because the original point of entry for the original harness is actually through here, which, if you guys remember, runs through this channel right there. So there's really no way to, let me see, turn on my flash here. There we go. So you have that option right there, but you know, you're talking about running the loom across up here or however, and then, you know, remember we do have the exhaust going down. And if we ever wanted to do the hood exit, maybe it might get a little too close. I don't want to fry the wires. So what we decided to do is we found pretty much a threaded hole that was up against here. I don't know what it was holding before, if it ever held anything at all. There's also these two nuts that aren't doing anything either. I just went right in through there. So, and we looked underneath the dash, and it has plenty of room for us to pass the loom without interfering with absolutely anything. So it doesn't interfere with anything at all. So what we're going to do is enlarge that hole, and then we're going to go ahead and pass all of our wires through, and then pretty much match it to the new grommet that we're going to be wrapping around our harness. So, and then I like it better on this side because this is pretty much the cooler side of things. So cool, and it'll look really good. Unfortunately, the battery just died on my drill, so we're charging it right now. We're charging it right now. So, what's up?
Hold up.
Who's it?
Hello?
Jericho,
Yeah.
I got the parts that you need.
Who's that?
Oh, yeah? Russ is on his way.
Oh shoot!
I'm gonna come in hot.
Cool.
Coming in hot.
Does he got it?
He's got it.
Where's he at?
He's coming in soon.
There he is. Oh man, what's up?
I got the good stuff that you need in
Oh, what you got? What you got?
special delivery.
I like your backpack.
That's a cool backpack. Oh, what is that? A pizza? You brought a pizza?
No?
Oh, what is that?
Art for your car.
Oh, custom clutch from Clutch Masters?
Yep.
Oh, how awesome. It's about time. That's cool.
Cool.
You are awesome, man. Hey, and you stood safe out there with that virus.
Okay.
You got your gloves on, you got your mask on. Perfect. All right, man. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Russell. And there we have our custom clutch from Clutch Masters. Luckily, they are local for us, so we are blessed to have them nearby. And we spoke with Andrew. Mr. Andrew. He's awesome. Jericho literally went in, it was yesterday. Yesterday night when they were just about to close, and said, "Hey, Andrew, I need a K24 clutch disc with the W58 center spline. And Andrew said, yeah, no problem. It was just
Yeah, I'll have it ready by tomorrow.
by 10 o'clock.
What?
I'm like, wow. So, yeah, this is pretty much what they use in their FX 400 clutch kits. They did include the tool, which is awesome. And, yeah, we weren't able to go pick it up, so that's why we sent Russell on his speedy little scooter to go pick it up for us about maybe 20 miles away. So you're pretty fast. Good job.
Quick.
That was very quick. Thank you, Russell. And so, cool. I can't wait to get this in. So there it is. That's pretty much one of the almost the final pieces of the puzzle. Minus the drive shaft and oh man. Hey, but you know what? This is better. Get rid of that. Keep this. All right. Very good. And how much did this cost? With taxes, $303. Not.
One of my leg and one of my finger.
Yeah, no, only $303. That's not bad at all. So that should definitely hold the power that we are planning on producing with this engine. So if not, then we'll probably have to go another route. But like I said, this is an everyday car. This is a street car. We don't need any dual friction or, well, I mean, what is that called? The dual disc?
Dual clutch, dual disc.
Twin disc. Yeah, we don't need anything too crazy. But like I said, we are not gonna be drag racing in. We're not looking to do super low times like 2s and 3s, 4s, and a quarter mile.
You just wanna.
I just want to burn out.
Yeah.
So this should hold. That should be all right.
Bye.
All right. Thank you.
Let me know.
For sure. Thank you, Russell. Where's he going? Doesn't he live here? All right, so yeah, let me just wait for my drill to charge up, and then we'll get back on that drilling the firewall. And there you go, a fully wired K24 engine. See, I hope you guys got all that. Did you guys take notes? Good job, Jericho. Let's go ahead and start it on up. Yeah, right. Huh? That'd be awesome. Okay, so we did puncture the hole right there. That's going into the firewall, and you can see that is going to work awesome. So you're pretty much not going to be able to, well, obviously you can see the wires right here. We're going to clean up these wires right there. But other than that, the fuel injectors are going to tuck themselves down in between each runner of the manifold, just like that. And that's pretty much all you're going to see. So that's going to work out really good. And we have a lot of harness that's going to pretty much go all the way over to here is where we're going to plant it. Pretty much in the original Starion's ECU position, around that area, more or less. See, we already mounted while we were waiting for the battery to charge, we went ahead and just mounted up our boost controller like we said we would. So we have to run the wire. Actually, on the K-Pro, to control the boost, to hook up to the boost controller with our K-Pro, they actually use the EVAP wire, which I believe is a red with a black stripe number. I forgot. But anyway, so we need to run that back all the way pretty much to the computer, and then we're going to wind up running it back around to connect to that, and then run the second wire off into a fused power key 12 volts. That's how we power up that. Okay, next. Okay, now that we got that, so Jericho's going to be figuring out the harness now, and I'm going to go ahead and start mounting up our battery and use those insert nuts that I've been dying to use.
Yeah.
So,
It's been 2 weeks.
yeah, it's been too long. So, okay, let me get on that, and then we'll be right back with you. Don't worry, we're not going to skip any beats on how we're going to wire this thing up. This is all we have so far, pretty much the harness, and all it's doing is just pass it. That's the place that we choose to pass through there. If you want to pass anywhere else, it's up to you.
He's lying.
I'm lying? What am I lying about?
I think the guy Kevin's gonna be like, oh, you skipped a beat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right, huh? This video is dedicated to Mr. Kevin Day,
Yeah.
who what is it? PM? EM? What does it call it? Personal
left a
message?
comment.
Yeah, left a comment. There you go. Left a comment below asking if I would please slow down when it came to the wiring. And we're going to slow down the best we can, because when we get into working on things, when the camera's off, we just seem to keep on going as much as we can. So we'll do our best, but like I said, we have not wired anything up yet. We just plugged it in right now and punctured a hole and passed all the wires through. And we got locate some sort of grommet to wrap around that to plug that hole up too. And once again, Jericho's going to start to see what plugs into where. We have to get our little sensors plugged in so we know how far we need to extend our wires. Because remember, the throttle body was on that side, so everything has to be, that would normally be there, it has to be extended up to here. And ran and hidden, just like Jericho wants, which isn't necessary, but we're going to do it because why not? And, you know, we have all this nice thing, and, you know, a bad wiring job could pretty much kill the whole job. In my opinion. What do you think? Yeah? Whatever.
Who cares now?
Okay, and then also we do have to plant our ethanol content sensor, which is going to go somewhere around this area.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll probably worry about that one later, actually. But right now, like I said, I'm going to get on the battery box. Be right back. Okay, and mounting the battery was a success. Look at that. Look how awesome that came out. You can see I used insert nuts. So we drilled the hole and installed the insert nuts, and it worked out awesome. It's in there really nice and solid. Look at that.
You inserted those nuts pretty good.
I sure did. So you can see, look at that. That looks really good. Look at it. All right, guys, I think we are going to end it here for tonight. I know it didn't seem like we got a lot done, but it is real difficult to... And we're being very picky about how we're going to run our wires, and we just ran through everything to make sure that nothing is disconnected, and we eliminated exactly what we didn't want anymore, and we left what we're going to need actually to use for our additional sensors, once again, like for the boost controller and for the ethanol content sensor, because yes, this is going to be on E85 and, you know, have the ability of switching over to pump gas, which is awesome. I mean, this thing is like highly over-engineered maybe, but we love it, and it's going to look very awesome and very nice and neat when complete. I feel that, you know, now that we have this, all we got to do is just extend now. Just a couple wires, a couple sensors to reach to here. Also, we need to extend to down below right here on the pipe where I'm going to put the intake air temperature sensor. And also, well, once again, our content sensor, I already mentioned that. And we already have our wires ready to go, which are these guys right here. We'll explain exactly what we're doing with that. I mean, not everybody, I'm sure, is going to, you know, you don't have to run your content sensor or even your boost controller sensor into the same loom. That's just what we're doing. We're going to be using the computer's voltage sources, or what they call is a VCC. VCC pluses, VCC negatives, positive negatives, which means vehicle common circuit. We're going to be using that since they're right there. It's just so we can tie everything into one simple harness. You know, the content sensor could be ran by itself, you know, if you want, but since we're kind of tying everything in together, it'll be a lot easier to go in through one place rather than going around everywhere else or drilling extra holes everywhere just to pass your wires through. So we want to make sure, you know, that is done. I'm probably going to get on Jericho's case right now to order at least the oil pressure gauge, because we can actually integrate that too into the harness, so we don't need to run additional wires once again, like I said, because if you have all your wires coming out of just that one hole, I mean, that is so much nicer when you can get away with that. So once again, I'm sorry this video might be short, but you know, we have a lot. We still have a lot to do, and we want to make sure that we don't miss anything, and we want to make sure that we're showing what we need to show to others who have requested how to wire this up into the Starion. So yeah, so stay tuned. We should be picking up on this video again soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave any comment below, or let the hate flow.
No one's gonna hate on this.
No, but don't let that virus flow.
No.
Do not let the virus flow. Okay. And I thank my son for making that long journey all the way to Rialto, California on his little Razor to bring us that clutch.
Yep.
Where'd it go?
I hit it already.
You hit it already? Okay, well, it does spline up there. We are still waiting for our release bear. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
There we go, a little sneak peek there. Look at that. The K24 Toyota clutch. So we are still waiting for our release bearing, which should be coming in tomorrow, actually. So, also you see our speed sensor. I already went ahead and crimped on the Deutz connector right here, so for our speed sensor. So once again, I love working with those things. This has come out really nice. 100% weatherproof, waterproof. So look at that, it slides right on. Our pressure plate and everything. Very cool, man. Okay, we got the battery in already. And we already made our trim to our boot, because remember last time it was hitting, and now you can see that we have plenty of space, at least enough space, even if it doesn't even rock, so it ain't gonna torque left or right, it ain't going nowhere, so that should be good. That's plenty of space for a battery. So next time you'll see us, we'll go ahead and have that already extended. I feel that we really don't need to explain exactly what to extend. Because if you're, like I said, if you just grab your own harness, you should obviously see when you plug it in. I mean, it doesn't have to be all stripped down like we're doing it, but we want to replace the loom and everything. So we're just going the extra few thousand miles on on everything, it seems like. So, yeah, I mean, you can just leave it in its original loom and just extend from there and then re-loom. I mean, as if you want to just get up and go, you know. But just I don't see us doing anything like that, because we've already invested so much time in this. I mean, I would hate to just see the whole thing look like crap if we just throw the harness on. So it is a lot of work. It is, it can be, nerve-wracking. It is not for the faint of heart. You know, maybe one day we can have these pre-made for people ready to go. That would be an idea. Pre-made, but we'd have to charge millions of dollars. 1 million. Cool. Yeah, we ordered our gasket already for our idle air control valve. I forgot the water pump gasket again. Dang, okay, there's yet another thing. So, all right, guys. Well, have a good night, and be safe out there. Make sure you're wearing your masks and practicing safe distance. Not that.
Yeah.
Social distance is what they call it.
Social distance.
Social distance. Yeah, you practice a safe the other one of those too. Okay. So anyway, all right, guys. Have a good night.
You're going to fast.